नमस्कार, मैं शैली तिवारी। पत्रिका पर आपका स्वागत है। आज हम हैं ऐसी शख्सियत के साथ जो एक नोबल कॉज के लिए पूरी दुनिया में घूम रहे हैं और सवाल कर रहे हैं कि क्यों नहीं हम अपनी धरती के लिए आवाज उठाते हैं, क्यों नहीं हम अपनी धरती के लिए बात करते हैं। आप सही पहचान रहे हैं, हम आज हैं सदगुरु के साथ। सदगुरु, बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका पत्रिका पर। सबसे बड़ा सवाल यही है कि दुनिया में आज जितनी जरूरत है खाने की या फूड की, उसमें 40% की कमी है, और आपका कॉज, दोनों को किस तरह देखते हैं?
Well, it's not just about food, we need to understand this. When we talk about soil, we are talking about the foundations of life. Not only about food security, yes, that is also an important part, that's an immediate part. But essentially, we as a life have manifested here only because of what is happening within the 15 to 18 inches of topsoil. The organisms there are the foundation of our life. Even today, over 60% of our bodies are microorganisms. Having said that, destroying soil means it is like we pulled out the foundation stones of this building and waiting to see when it'll collapse. This is what it is. But unfortunately, it's been happening in the name of modern agriculture and industrialized ways of approaching it. Many things have led to this, I don't want to get into those aspects, but the important thing is, we are in a cusp of time where if we take the necessary policy action, we can fix it. That is the most important thing right now.
सॉइल और लाइफ दोनों एक साथ टुगेदर आगे बढ़ते हैं, दोनों को एक दूसरे की रिस्पेक्ट कैसे करते हैं?
Not just life, even in death we get back to soil. So whether we live or we die, it is soil because the very body that we carry is soil. Everything that you see as life, whether it is a worm or an insect or a bird or a tree or an animal or a human being, it's all soil. This is all soil walking around. So unfortunately, we forget it. This is why in this culture, with a very deep understanding of life, we refer to soil as mother. When we say mother, we are clearly saying soil is the source of our life. But unfortunately, this maa mitti has only become a cultural term, but not in the living experience of people. It has to be brought out if we are interested in life long term. Otherwise, we are living like we are the last generation, which is a very irresponsible way to exist.
मशीन एरा की बात अभी आपने भी की। एग्रीकल्चर में सबसे ज्यादा मशीन एरा की बात हो रही है, मशीन यूज हो रही है। तो जो सॉइल का जो सबसे ऊपरी परत है, जिसको सॉइल माना जाता है, वो तो जो आपने भी कई बार वीडियोज में कहा भी है कि वो उधेड़ रहे हैं हम लोग उसको। तो कैसे मशीन को हम खत्म करें और कैसे हम ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग की तरफ जाएं?
No, मशीन खत्म करने की बात नहीं है। My Hindi, okay? So it is not about ending machines, it's about evolving machines. Right now, the machines that we have are very crude, which are simply ripping the soil apart. One of the greatest damages that's happening to the microbial life in the soil is, right now this is the summer months, you just travel anywhere across India and see, everywhere soils have been plowed and left open through the summer in this heat. This is the murder of the soil. We are waiting for monsoons to come. 2-3 months early, we just dig it up and leave it open. Just 50 years ago, every farmer knew in summer months we must put cover crops, but there are no cover crops anymore. So this is one of the simplest things that the governments can do, is give necessary seed, a mixture of legumes, pulses and a variety of other seeds which will enrich the soil, and give this to the farmers as an incentive so that they'll throw cover crops. You're not going to get any crop out of it, but if you put it back in the soil, every year you will be adding at least 1.5 to 2 inches of humus back into the soil, which will mean if your soil is below 1% organic content now, if you just do cover crops, in 4 to 6 years, maximum 8 years depending upon the soil, you will have over 3% organic content. I'm saying it's that simple. If you cannot do that, then what does it mean? 47.6% of India's land is under till by small and medium farmers. Small farmer means he's below 1 hectare. Medium farmer is he's below 2 hectares. So these farmers, if you take up, which account for over 84% of the farmers in numbers, but 47% in terms of land, this will be the easiest one to do because they will transform themselves for a small incentive. Larger farmers may need a different kind of encouragement that has to be crafted by the finance ministries of different states according to their own financial capabilities. Next thing is, they must have the carbon credit system for the farmer should be made very simple. When I say simple, see, an industry is spewing smoke from its chimney. You can catch the smoke and measure what is the pollutants, what is the carbon credit if you change this. It's very simple. Or it is complex in a different way. Right now, carbon credit scheme is mainly devised for industry and businesses. We've been trying for the last 7 years to somehow get it for the farmer. It's just been pillar to post. We've not been able to do it. So one simple thing that the government has to do is make this like a thumb rule. If a farmer's land moves from 1% to 3%, he naturally gets so much carbon credit. You cannot go and measure the field, how much methane was being emitted, how much CO2 was being emitted, and now it's come down. You cannot measure every field, and the field is different. How it is early morning, how it is now at this time of the day, how it is at noon time, how it is in the evening, it is changing all the time according to temperature, humidity and various other aspects. So, you don't go about measuring, you just come up with a thumb rule. 3% organic content means you're sequestering so much carbon, so you get this much of carbon credit. If it's fixed like that, 4% means you get something higher, 6% means you get something higher. If this is done, this will be the second level of incentive for the farmer. Right now, the way the world is talking about carbon sequestration, it is quite a substantial incentive. The third level should be in the marketplace, it must be recognized. Now, if you are growing let's say a vegetable or a fruit, let's say this is the mango season, if you're growing mango in 1% organic content soil, what are the nutrients that a mango holds? If the same thing grows in 3% organic content, what are the micronutrients it holds? The science is already available. Because of this extra micronutrients, what are the health benefits you get? What are the preventive health benefits you get? What benefits will happen to the society in terms of healthier human beings, less stress on the healthcare system, and more productive and creative human beings in a given society? All these aspects are there. So, in the marketplace, it must find a higher shelf and a higher price. If my mango is coming from 6% organic content field, then it must find much higher price. The advantage of this is, one thing that will inevitably happen, this is something that people have not addressed, is if the micronutrient level is higher in the food consumption for an individual will naturally come down. Right now, the body is longing for nutrients, not for food. We must understand this. Mentally, people may think about food. As far as the body is concerned, it is looking for nutrients. If the food that you're eating is analyzed by the body and it finds it is not nutritious enough, it will ask for more food. So, if the nutrition level is high, naturally the volume of food that an individual eats will come down, which will benefit the individual and the society in many ways, all right? There are indescribable number of ways in which people will benefit because of more nutritious food. So, there are a whole lot of pluses, there are no minuses in this. Above all, raising organic content in the soil is one aspect where nobody is against it. No industry is against it, no lobby is against it, nobody is against it. Farmer is definitely not against it. Only thing is, he needs an incentive, otherwise he won't be able to make the changes, because any change has to happen means there has to be a financial push. This must be understood that if we want to solve this problem, soil must be separated from other environmental concerns, because other environmental concerns involve economic issues, which will run into endless amount of debates and arguments and conferences, endless conferences will go on. But when it comes to soil organic content, there is no debate, there is no loss for anybody. So, soil must be separated and solved because other aspects are important, there are significant problems, we acknowledge that, but soil is an existential issue. It is not an environmental issue. So it must be separated and handled separately.
सदगुरु एक इसके सफाई के साथ एक और सबसे बड़ी परेशानी है जो फर्टिलाइजर को लेकर के फर्टिलाइजर का मैक्सिमम यूज जिस तरह से बढ़ा है उसको कैसे देखते हैं?
See, that is why I said we must separate it from these issues. Fertilizer usage is there, pesticide usage is there. Is it all being used properly, exactly the way it should be? No, because there are many issues on the ground. Fertilizer should be used in a doctored manner. Like you are healthy, you are eating well and everything is fine with you, but your doctor says your iron or calcium or something is little low, he will give you one pill. So you took this one pill and you felt wonderful the next day, so you decided you will take 300 of those pills, you don't have to eat food anymore. This is what the fertilizer usage is right now. So instead of talking about fertilizer usage, if we talk about enrichment of the soil, regeneration of the soil, as the soil organic content goes up, the need for the fertilizer will start sliding down. Fertilizer companies are already in the world trying to transform themselves into biofertilizer mode. I was talking to one of the top fertilizer companies in the world, and they're saying nobody is lifting the fertilizer stocks. We are just stuck with the inventory, it is not going anywhere. I said, if you give the necessary incentives from your government, within 3 months, we will empty the whole inventory, whatever it is. But without incentive, that change won't happen. So, fertilizer companies have to transform, this is one thing we must understand. I'm stressing on this because activists are always trying to beat the industry down. No business need to be beaten down, but businesses need to transform. To transform, you need time and incentives there also. Without incentives and without allowing time, you say overnight you change or you close down. This is not an answer, this is going to affect us more deeply than the existing problems. So it's very important that all industries, businesses need to transform. Transformation needs both incentive and time frame.
आप इस समय अपनी कैंपेन में कई देशों के राष्ट्राध्यक्षों से मिले, प्रेसिडेंट, प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स, वो लोग इन जो आपकी फाइंडिंग्स हैं उनको लेकर के कितना आगे बढ़ने की तैयारी कर रहे हैं?
Right now 74 nations are on board, they have made some declarations that they will definitely go with this. And I have also addressed COP15 where 197 parties participated, including EU, CARICOM and Commonwealth nations and other groups like this, including African Union and all these groups. So, the significance of soil and the need to separate soil from other environmental issues has sunk in without doubt into everybody's minds. Everybody is in agreement with that. Each nation at what pace they will go is the only question. Right now, after these nearly 80+ days that I've been on the road, I'm quite certain now that anyway the world will move towards soil regeneration.
Now the question is only the speed. At what speed will they move? If you move too slowly, then this generation won't benefit because time will go away. So right now our focus will be to see that the speed is reasonable, within reasonable limits, not taking 100 years to do this. It must happen in the next at least 6 to 10 years time.
सर कुछ 3-4 सवाल मेरे थोड़े से अलग हैं, इससे हल्के सवाल हैं। सबसे पहला तो ये कि इतनी एनर्जी कहाँ से है कि 30,000 किलोमीटर का रन आप एक बाइक पर कर रहे हैं और इस एज में जो मतलब हमारे रिटायरमेंट की एज है।
You want me to retire?
No, I am not saying.
पूरा प्रपंच एनर्जी है ना, whole cosmos is living energy. Who is stopping you from taking it? There is no price. If you keep your doors open, it's all there for you. But everybody is living like a concrete block, closed within themselves. So their battery keeps going off. This is what the word yoga means. Yoga means union. You're also doing yoga as you sit here, because you're breathing. Your breathing means you're being in union with the atmosphere. You had breakfast means you are having union with the soil on the planet. Like this you are doing yoga but unconsciously. So only those holes which are absolutely necessary for survival, only those you're keeping them open. If you keep everything open, it's a limitless amount of energy.
एक सबसे कोविड के बाद से डिप्रेशन एक बड़ी समस्या पूरे देश और दुनिया में बढ़ी है, खासकर यूथ के बीच में। तो वो हर कंडीशन में कैसे एनर्जी फील करें और कैसे मोटिवेट फील करें?
See, COVID, I know it has unfortunately taken over 6 million lives, and many people have gone through various aspects. But these complaints are always there. When they had to go to their school or college, they were crying about it, many of them. When you don't have to go, you will cry about it. You have to go to work, you think that is the basis of your stress. Now, no need to go to work, you think that is also a basis of stress. People at home were complaining, you are never home, where are you, where are you? Now they're always home, so they're complaining about that. So I'm saying these complaints are endless. This is something that every human being should realize. What life throws at you is not always in your hands. What you make out of it is 100% yours. If you don't learn to hit every ball that comes your way the way you want, then that means you're a bad player.
लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, सबसे बड़ी जो पीस ऑफ माइंड की बात होती है, पीस ऑफ माइंड आए कैसे और सबसे बड़े ऑब्स्टिकल कौन से हैं?
See, we gave you a very complex… nature gave you a very complex machine, but you want to handle it in a crude way, it's not going to work. Then you should have been something else, you know, in the evolutionary scale you shouldn't have become a human being. Human being means you must learn to handle a complex machine, because complexity has possibilities. So right now what you're complaining about is peace of mind problem is just this, you're complaining, why am I a human being? If I was an earthworm, I would be peaceful and also eco-friendly, all right? You're essentially complaining about the size of your brain. So if you remove half the brain, most people will be peaceful. They better understand that. It is just that you have a complex machine, you don't pay any attention how to handle it. This whole education system, the social platforms right now, is anybody, anywhere looking at how to gain access to different faculties within us, how to manage this machine. Right now it is just this, you have a complex machine, you're trying to handle it without even reading the user's manual. If you don't read the user's manual, you will make a mess out of it. So this is why inner engineering you must do.
Yeah. तो आपने सदगुरु की बात सुनी। सदगुरु कह रहे हैं कि अगर आपको अगली पीढ़ी के लिए कुछ देना है तो सबसे पहले सेफ सॉइल की तरफ आप सोचें, चर्चा करें, बात करें और पूरा देश और पूरी दुनिया इस मुद्दे पर बहस जरूर करे, क्योंकि हमें जो मिला है पिछली पीढ़ी से उसे अगली पीढ़ी तक एक बेहतर तरीके से सौंप करके जाना है, और यही हमारी कोशिश है। तो सेफ सॉइल के इस मिशन के साथ आप भी जुड़िए सदगुरु के साथ। सदगुरु आप हमारे साथ जुड़े, इसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नमस्कार।
धन्यवाद।